So I'm going to try to do a video on the assembly of the Jet cast iron router table. As you can see here, when you order it, it comes to you in 6 boxes, and it's a good thing it was free shipping because this is almost 200 pounds of product. So in this little box, we have this is all for the table, the flip stops, fine fence adjustable, and the Jet router table vertical featherboard. And then this is the Powermatic dust collection box that goes on it, and the Jet cast iron table. You can see there, that box alone is 92.6 pounds. Here is the Powermatic router lift with a brake. That's the router stand. And this here is the floor stand with switch and miter gauge. So I guess this one back here isn't the stand, it's actually the fence. So I guess now I'm going to open up the boxes, see if I can find where the directions are, and make sure all the parts are here, and then I'll get started. So I just opened up the box that contains the router floor stand, and this is exactly what it looked like when I opened it. And the directions are right there on top, and everything seems to be pretty well packaged. None of the styrofoam is broken. You can see the boxes are held together there with those little metal staples, so everything came in pretty good shape that I can tell. So I'm going to take this apart and make sure everything's in there that needs to be in there. Well, after I got everything out of the box, this is what it looks like. I'll say that every piece there was individually wrapped, and it appears to be in fantastic condition. All pieces are there that's on the parts list, and I need to open up the bag for the fasteners there to make sure it has everything it needs to have. But in my opinion, I think it's all going to be there. So I'm going to open that up and get it out in orderly fashion so I can put this thing together. Now I'll tell you, the directions only have 4 steps and a picture, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Looks fairly easy at this point. Well, like I said, it was fairly easy to put together. All the pieces were there that I could tell. Had a couple of extra pieces left over, and that's mainly because the tool stand that came with it I am not going to use. I will note that you see the little bolts there that hold the cross members under the legs. Those go into a pre-threaded hole, and some of them are not tapped clean, and you need to use a wrench to get the socket through. Just make sure you start it straight, or you'd end up cross-threading it, and that would not be a good thing. So I guess the next step now is to try to get the cast iron table together and get the dust collection box mounted to it so I can put it on top of this table. I've managed to mount the cast iron top and the dust collection box there onto the bottom of the cast iron top. It was pretty simple. A couple of screws holding the metal box together in the corners, and then it bolts right to the top of the cast iron table. Now the directions say to put the dust collection box together, then turn the cast iron table upside down and mount that to the table. And then you got to turn the cast iron top over with the box attached to it and set it on top of the base. Well, I didn't do that. I leaned the top up against the wall. I was able to attach the cast iron table to the dust collection box, and then I was able to walk the top out, turn it upside down on a piece of cardboard, turn the stand upside down, and then mount it that way. Of course, that meant that 2 people needed to lift it up and right the thing up so it's not upside down. That there is the dust collection port for the little box underneath. It has a mechanism there to control draft. And then on the other side is a small area to put the cord of the router through. So there it is. So far I'm pretty happy with it. It is really heavy and it's solid. It's not going to move. So the next thing is to get the router lift out, get that attached, and get my router to that router lift, and get the fence made. Well, the next step is to install the router into the router lift. And if you look here, it says the universal clamp collar will secure any router without the need to match hole patterns on its mounting plate. Well, that's not exactly true. I have a DW621 that I've used for years, and it will not fit into this router lift. So I called Jet and asked them why it wouldn't fit in there and what I had to do to make it fit. And they basically told me that I was shit out of luck and it wasn't going to fit. And in fact, the friendly little guy that I talked to said that he never ever saw a router that looked like that. So he must be brand new to woodworking. So this led me to going out and buying a brand new router, a DW618. This router has 2¼ horsepower, 14 amps. The 621 is 2 horsepower. So I guess comparatively they're very close together. This one here I should be able to take apart, take that motor out, and it'll be round and it'll fit right in there. Because you need a round one, that round hole there. That lovely little hole that goes all the way around there. You can fit a router up to 4 3/16 of an inch. They don't tell you that anywhere in the directions or advertisements. And if you have one that's too skinny, they give you these little rings that you can put in there to make it fit. So lesson learned. So if you don't want to buy a new router and you have a 621 or any other router that is square like that, I'm telling you now, it will not fit without getting a new router. So I'm going to get the new router out, see what it takes to get this mounted up, and then I will return. All right, I was able to get the router mounted and it wasn't too bad. I did have to use the skinniest of the collars in order to get it to fit in there nice and tight. Pretty simple to do. I took this base off of it, pulled the motor right out, and I just slid it in there and tightened up a couple of nuts, and it was good to go. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with this extra router, but I guess I'll just have it as a spare. Yeah, it's pretty simple to use. Nice and clean, being brand new. Can't wait to get some wood on it. I'm not going to do that for this demonstration. You all know what a router table is and what it does. I just kind of wanted to show what it's like putting this thing together. Now, I did forget to show you the underneath of the router lift. Not that you can really see anything, but it's all in there. It fits nice and tight. The door for this little box here is magnetic. Stays right shut. Now, when I called Jet and complained about the router not fitting, they made the recommendation to go with a Bosch router, and I checked into it. I am a fan of the yellow, so I checked them both out. The biggest difference I saw was that the DeWalt router has a stop in it that holds the collet, so you can remove your bit with just a wrench, one wrench, where the Bosch required 2 hands and 2 wrenches.
I thought that would be highly inconvenient and would take more time, just be more difficult in general. So I opted with the DeWalt router. I did consider getting something a little bigger, but in thinking about it even more, I thought I had that 2 horsepower for many years, and it never caused me any problems. I never needed anything more powerful. So another reason why I just went with the 2¼ horsepower. I don't really care about what you put in your router table. If you want to go yellow or green or red or whatever, I don't care. So I really don't care what you think of what I put in there. It's in there, that's what I'm going to use, and it's not going to change. I don't think anything else I need to say. Overall, I think the fit and finish is really nice. I can't wait to get it started and route some wood on this thing. You can see there the fine adjustment knobs. They're really pretty cool. So that's about it. So if you get one, have a good time.